Pot Valley!
It's showtime.
Hey, welcome to Thursday night Slot Car Live. Thanks for joining us tonight. Tonight, of course, we're going live with Raul from Conquest Racing. I want to thank Raul for being here first off. Thank you very much for joining us tonight, Raul.
No worries. Glad to be here. Thanks for inviting me.
Awesome. Glad to have you here. All right, so before we get going, let's see who's in the house first before we get too crazy tonight. Slot Car Frank, thank you very much, brother. I don't know if you know, but you are a member of SVR, and I believe you could thank Donald for that. Absolutely fantastic. Tom Young, thanks for joining us, brother. Absolutely appreciate it. The original Adam Hurt, brother. I really like your new emblem. Absolutely fantastic. Your logo. Pardon me. Mike Mertz, thank you very much for joining us tonight, brother. Robert Fish, thank you. Clint, thank you very much. Keith, woo, a lot of people in the house tonight. Thank you, guys. I absolutely appreciate it. Let's go over a few of the people here tonight. And of course, we got Adam Hurt. Yeah, looking good, brother. Looking good. I'm really liking your logo, Adam. Very good. Very good. Oh, Dell, thanks for joining us, brother. Absolutely fantastic. We got Keith from North Carolina. Thanks, Keith. I absolutely appreciate that. Woo, busy night. Thanks, guys. Absolutely fantastic. Clint, thank you very much for joining us tonight. Dell, thank you. Another member. I absolutely appreciate that. So is Adam Hurt. Thank you very much, brother. Mike Mertz as well. Thank you, guys. Absolutely fantastic. I appreciate your financial support. It sure goes a long way. Nothing these days is cheap. So even if that pays for the tax on something, well, then that's absolutely fantastic. Mark Slot Car Garage. Thanks for joining us tonight, brother. Mark actually came across something. Mark's brother is actually making a bottle opener that's laser printed on a metallic. Oh, wait. Let me just show a picture of it. I already sound like an idiot. Hang on. That's easy to do for me, though. Just keep that in mind. Here we go. Hang on. Where is this? Here they are. Okay. So I really like this idea. So I told Mark at Mark's Slot Car Garage that I'd show everybody for them. If anybody's interested in this, you can get a hold of Mark at Mark's Slot Car Garage. But I absolutely think these are fantastic. So I'm going to show them off. Here we go. Okay. So this is it. This is what it is. The back side is a bottle opener. I'll show that. Hang tight one sec. So this is just an idea of the things that he can print. It doesn't have to be Mark's Slot Car Garage logo on it, although, it's probably suggested that you do. But you can get anything you wanted put on it. So I'll just show you what the back side of it looks like quickly while people are still coming into the room. Okay, and here it is right here. So this is it here. This is what the back side looks like with the can opener part, just to show you guys. So this is what it looks like. This would be the back. Obviously, you can see there's two little magnets there, which obviously holds it to the fridge. So if anyone's interested in this, please make sure you give Mark a little jingle over at Mark's Slot Car Garage. I'm sure he would like to hear from you in regards to this can opener, or just hear from you at all. So just remember Mark's Slot Car Garage. Thanks, guys. So that takes care of the bottle opener. Fantastic. All right. So tonight we're going to be talking about track layout, just because it's fairly important in our community right now. There are a few people who have been or are setting up a track, and I just want to go over it tonight. But before we do, I have a new logo that our good friend Raul here from Conquest Racing has been helping me out with. Absolutely fantastic ideas. I've got it down to 3 different looks now, and I just want to do a quick vote on it, what you guys think. I'm pretty sure I already know which one I'll be picking, but and of course the logos are very similar, just with small variations. So I'm going to run all 3 of those past you guys today, and you can let me know what you guys think of them. Thanks for joining us tonight, Marcus. I absolutely appreciate that. And we definitely will have the bell for you a little bit later. James, thank you very much, brother. I've been setting up my track for a year. Yeah, well, that's usually how it goes, a little at a time. That's why I always say, let your ideas flow, because if you stick to a solid idea, you're going to be really frustrated. Okay. So, here we go. We'll start it off now, and this will be the first design that I'm looking at. Okay, no, that's Mark. Where are we? Here we go. All right, so this will be design number 1. Thanks for joining us, Steffi. I appreciate that. Good stuff, Mike. Awesome. Okay, so yes, they are wood. Pardon me. I know I said metal. That was incorrect, and I'm sorry for that. The can opener itself is metal, but the actual object is wood. So here we go. This would be, we'll call this number 1. Okay, so this is number 1. This one has the thick writing and the colored car. All right. So burn this one into your minds for a moment. What do you guys think of this one? First off, let's just talk a little bit about this design. Personally, I'm a big fan of how the car looks.
Well, you did ask for an LMP car, so I had to draw one out.
Right. And that was definitely the right choice, it looks like, for sure. Hey, John, thanks for joining us. And looks like the mayor's in the house. Thanks, brother. Okay, so that would be design number 1, and I thank you all for that, and I'm sure Raul thanks you. This is his design. So here we are. We'll look at number 2 now. Just give me a moment, folks. Okay, so this was the second. This would be the second one. So here we are with the second design. Now the car has changed slightly, and the wording is outlined with a thinner line. So this is what it looks like. Okay, so you can see the car is no longer colored anymore. It's just red and white, which looks fantastic. And the logos are outlined with thinner lines. So this would be number 2. Yeah, I love the LMP car too, Mike. That's the first thing I said to Raul. Got to have an LMP 1 or 2 car in it. That was the only stipulation. And okay, so that would be number 2. Now this is the final one. This will be number 3. So one quick moment here. Okay, so this will be number 3. And this will be number 4. This is number 4. This is number 3. Yeah. So, all right. So now as a collective, there's 27 people here. Can we get at least 15 of you to tell me 1, 2, or 3? Which one is your favorite, guys? The first one, the second one, or the third one? Two. That was the colored. Okay. The 2 was the red and white car. The third one, number one was the colored car, correct? With the thick lettering.
Yeah.
Howdy, guys. Hey, Kenton, we're just voting right now on my new emblem, or what would you call this?
Just your channel logo.
There you go. Number 3, number 2. Okay. So what I have chosen to go with is this one right here, actually. So everyone who has chosen number 3, that is the one I've chosen to go with. That is the one that's currently on the screen right now. So I think this one sort of sums up where I've been and where I'm going with Slot Valley. So to me, it kind of makes sense because legitimately my most favorite slot car is this car. So it would only make sense that it's now part of my new logo. The logo that I originally bought was from Fiverr. I think I paid like $40 for it. It was good. It served my purpose. I certainly didn't know any better or any different. And being, of course, new to the hobby, no hobby friends, no slot car friends, sort of thing. So when you start without having the backing of a supporting crew, you're sort of left to your own devices. And Fiverr was sort of put forward to me, and that's where I ran with. They came up with an awesome emblem or awesome logo, Slot Valley Racing. It's been that way for 2 years now. But like I've said, it has been for 2 years now, and it was definitely time to change things up a little bit. And I think this more signifies where Slot Valley Racing is going. Slot Valley Racing will turn into a slot car channel as soon as I start producing content for my 132nd track. But I will not be leaving HO. So anybody who's got this crazy notion that I will no longer be doing HO is probably sitting in the corner eating crackers all by themselves. Because HO is definitely a place in my heart. But I do have a problem, and I'm going to express that to all you guys right now. The main problem with Slot Valley Racing is my slot car track sits on top of a $12,000 pool table by Dufferin, and we need to get rid of it by the summer. It has to come out of our basement. Now, anybody who's seen Slot Valley Racing knows that all 3 of my tracks sit on top of that pool table. So the main problem here is going to be I won't be making too much more content on Slot Valley Racing's racetrack. I'll be moving most of my racing content, whether it be AFX, Auto World, or 132 cars. I'll be doing that on the Carrera track. If anybody's seen Shen RC, and I'm sure most of us have by now, that's sort of what I have in mind, sort of intermixing them both now. I'm really liking what Carrera has to offer, and I really want to bring that out to the masses. I'm going to help all these 132 guys talk big slot car, and we'll all talk slot cars together. My whole plan is to start a video series with people like me who are pretty green, but are interested in definitely getting their toes in the water, because the Carrera Digital is pretty fantastic stuff. So I'm kind of looking forward to that. As for the track, I've been asked if I have pictures, and in fact I do. So we'll take a quick look. It's not the track, but it is where the track will be going. So it's a good look at it. Let me just let me see what I got here. Okay, so this will be the first picture from one of the corners. Where I'm standing now is where the computer will be. This is here we go. Okay, so this is the room, and this is a very large bedroom, we'll say. So what you're looking at here is from the back wall where the fan is there, you can see it plugged into the wall, to where I'm standing on the table is 7 feet. So that one section there is 7 feet 5. It's 5 feet wide and 7 feet long. Now, the smaller section in the back, you can see there where the power drill is. That section is 4 foot 5. So it's 5 towards the door that you can't see on the right, and 4 width. Now, there's going to be a 2 feet section in between those two because so let me show you the other side now. Stop sharing or I'll end up giving away all my secrets. Okay, so this is a look from the other angle now, from the other side of the room. Okay, so this is...
Sorry about that.
This is now me looking towards where I was standing in the last picture. So you can see on the right, in between the two main areas, there's like a 2 foot section there. And that's where the pit lane will be. And there'll also be a second level that'll go just above that area. So the whole track will look like... So this is what the track will look like. You can see over here, this is the 7 foot 5. Okay. And this is the 4 foot 5 here. Okay. Now this area right here, that's the in-between area. This is where the track is going to go over top of itself like this. Okay. Just enough to get a slot car truck under it. And then, like I said already, the pit lane will be on the bottom. And then above that will simply just be a little bit of a hill, just enough to get the slot cars from not colliding together when they pass that same area. So that's the look for the slot car track. Sorry, I don't have any... all I see is fingers. Yeah, but all you see is where I'm putting the foam. On top of this will be the foam. I'm using foam insulation board. I've been watching Boone. Boone likes to use it. For myself, I've been using mostly plaster and chicken lath, plaster cloth and chicken lath. Basically the same thing you make a cast with. I just enjoy doing it that way. Except this time I want to try something different. So I know you're seeing a whole bunch of holes and it looks like fingers, but it just needs to hold the 2-inch foam board. That's all. So the table doesn't have to be super duper heavy. It's already screwed to the wall. So unless my house collapses, there's no way my table's going to fall down. I know it's a little bit of a long shot right now, and you sort of got to use a little bit of an imagination. That's perfectly fine. But the whole deal right now is I don't have all the parts I need to get it running. I can run the DTM, the Evolution, which is fine. But that would mean I would have to put it down and then pick it back up and then put it back down again and then hook up all the digital parts. And then I would not have any cars to run on it because I don't currently own one single digital car. So I'm going to have to chip a few or buy a few. And my whole thing is I'm going to buy 2 Carrera digital cars. Now there will be a Carrera. There will be a NSR, or they will be Jesus. What was the other one? Revo. Pardon me. Holy cow. How can I totally forget this, man? It sits right in front of me. duh, what car did I buy before I bought a track? But this is the whole reason. So, yeah. So what's happening here? While I'm gabbing away, what's going on?
Not much. Just some people are chatting about the logo.
Yeah,
hey,
no.
Shotgun Dave's here.
Hey, Shotgun
Tucci's
Dave, thanks
here.
for joining us, brother. I absolutely appreciate your shout out to me earlier on your channel. Thank you very much, brother. Absolutely.
Everybody's filtering in from the GRL runs, I think. So
Awesome. 4 cars for the pool table. Yeah. Oh my gosh. I don't even know how they got that piece of slate in my basement. I really don't. It's 2 inches thick. It's Italian marble with an Italian stamp on it in like 10 different places. They wanted to make sure that they knew it came from Italy, apparently. So yeah, it's going to be a pain in the ass to get out of the house. But it has to go because we don't want it there anymore. We don't play it. It doesn't make sense to have such an expensive item just sit there. Certainly, you know, anybody wants a pool table, literally come take it out of my house and a couple of $1,000 and it's all yours. I'm literally that serious.
yeah,
So,
I'm like the wall of cards behind me is half of my collection. The other half is upstairs in another wall.
Oh, my very first subscriber's not happy with my logo selection.
Nope.
That's okay, Robert. It's all right, brother. You'll see. It'll all make sense soon. Can't happen all at once. All right. So what's for dinner tonight, Dave? I had a tuna sandwich and tomato soup. And cut the wall down. I thought about it. Actually, I put up a wall to make that room so I could do my my 132nd in there. And it also gives me a nice filming area where I'll be able to oh yeah, I hear that. When my wife's at Army, that's what happens with me too. She's like, I'm not going to be home for supper tonight. Just eat whatever. Well, I looked in the fridge. I didn't see whatever there. Okay, so Rick, the track on one side is 7x5 or 5x7. The other piece is 4x5. So it's 5 feet away from the wall and 4 feet wide. And then, like I said, to attach it, there's like that little 2-inch piece. And that's literally just enough room to put the pit and obviously the track beside it. So I'm hoping I've allowed myself enough room. I don't actually have a pit yet. But when I put 2 pieces of track side by side, this is how it works out. So I'm hoping it'll work good. Yeah, we have lots of whatever. Yeah, I got tons of whatever for sure. Yeah, our pantry's full of whatever. So that's how it'll be. It'll be fair size. Lengthwise, I'm not sure exactly how much feet I'll end up with, but I currently have 28 feet of track with the Evolution set and the switchover pack that I bought. And Raul has been kind enough to donate to me a few straights and the wireless controllers that I had to purchase new rechargeable batteries for. And we talked about that on Monday night. So I'm not really going to get into it too much, but just a quick heads up. If you have an Auto World wireless controller, the battery will go dead and you'll be left with nothing because Auto World doesn't have a solution for this problem yet because Auto World doesn't see it as a problem. Carrera has corrected the problem by offering spare batteries to replace with. Auto World has no such thing. In fact, they even put a little nut on the controller that's not an average one so that you can't get into it. Yeah, Yeah, yeah. I'm just lucky enough that room was empty. It used to be a room that held our. We had a. Once again, it was an expensive fireplace, but the people before us installed it, and we don't burn. I don't burn wood in the house, and these people before us were using it for heating the house, and they redesigned our ducts and stuff so they can install this 600-watt fan to pull the hot air out of that room and blow it through the whole house. It was an absolutely insane idea, and I totally undid it right away. So now I have a fireplace sitting in my closet downstairs in that room. So I can make room because that's where the fireplace was. Now, the problem with the fireplace is it's too heavy. I can't move it up the stairs by myself. Normally, if I was in total workout mode, i.e. 3 years ago, then I would have been able to carry it up the stairs myself. But that's not even going to be a possibility anytime in the near future at all. So, yeah. So eventually I will set the track up because, you get a little itchy. I'm going to set the track up as soon as I've ordered the 2 cars. I've already been looking, and I know which ones I'm going to be purchasing. So I just sort of have to get around to doing it. And as soon as I order those cars, that's when I'll get everything hooked up. And nothing's going to be permanent right now because I still plan on doing the Global Racing League next for season 3. Right now, pardon me, season 2. I'm in the middle of this one right now, so I suppose I could probably jump in and just do it for myself. But I'm gonna probably wait it out, and I'll jump in for the beginning of the next season. So. I don't know anything about the tracks, the cars. I still need to tinker. I'd like to be able to look at a 132nd car like I do a HO car and go, yeah, I know everything I'm looking at top to bottom. And I really can't do that right now. But like I keep the cars in front of me so that I'm constantly looking at them. And I also keep one other thing that I find makes Carrera a little confusing is when you're trying to map out your track. If you don't know how their curves work, you're going to be in trouble because they have R1, 2, 3, and 4. And once you understand how those all go together, like if you get a set, like if you go R4 here, I believe this has 12 pieces for the whole, and they're all in 180 degrees. So if you buy a pack of, curves, they're going to come in a 180 pack, which gets you obviously half circle, which is pretty good. But once again, they come in different configurations. And so if you're to get like a 60 is kind of the equivalent of the HO 90. They're both too tight, really. And for some reason, the creators keep throwing these in our packs like we need them. We all know they're a bit of a pain, but that's just for basics, just to get her going. So that's where I'm at right now. Way too complicated. No, it just sounds complicated, Kenny. It's just like HO, brother. Yeah, here's a look at Raul's layout right now. I really like this layout. I like how they give you the nice room. I really feel this is where Auto World and AFX are going to trip up really bad, really fast. They seriously need to start thinking about changing the size of the track. Yeah, the hairpins in the air. I see you got a hairpin on your track there, Mike. I suggest you don't use hairpins because some of the cars won't.
I think I do a hairpin as well. I have a hairpin on this track too.
Yeah, but when you move a HO car around a hairpin, it literally drags the car around in this case. Yeah, and if he wants to run a semi truck, that's not going to happen either. And a 4-gear cars don't go around the hairpins because the hairpin's a 3. Yeah, all I say, Mike, is maybe try a few before you go solidly with the hairpin. The hairpin looks good. It's just You're gonna find it's possibly gonna be problems.
It is a
Yeah,
con.
and once you put a faster car around it, it just whips it right off. So something to consider. You haven't committed to anything yet on your track, so I do like how you have it situated with the train and stuff. Yeah, but maybe make it like a cul-de-sac where it's more of a bubble curve and then down to so kind of like this. Not like this, so that you're curving into each other on a 3. Go outwards first and then come around in a circle like a lollipop. Because the 3 is definitely a problem. I always suggest people don't use 3s. It's one of those things that you should try and steer clear of. Okay, well, man, I think I run out of air. All right, so excuse me, guys. Tonight we're going to be talking about track layout. So I'm glad you're here, Mike. It's a good run into what we'll be talking about tonight. Yeah, you see, that's sort of what I'm talking about right there. Yeah, it either it jams your car and it gets stuck, or it flings it off the track. So if you have a slow car, it'll get stuck trying to turn the corner. And if you have a fast car, it literally just turns it into like a rocket and it flies off the track. Oh, look at this. Hey, brother. It's good to see you. Where you been? But thanks for dropping in anyways. I appreciate it. So when you're considering your track row, what's a consideration that you have in mind? Like, what's your top thought?
For me, it's flow. So I like to not unbalance my cars too much. So if I'm building, it depends on what kind of track I want to build. If I want to build a fast track, I'll build a fast track which has got a lot of these longer turns, so the 4 and 15s or the 3x30s. And then that obviously has got more straight and more like an oval or extended loop. But then if you want to build technical tracks, you can, right? I've done various types of tracks because we used to race club races and I used to change my track every 3 months. So yeah, it really comes down to how much you want. But I always feel like you need 2 main straights, and then you need a technical infield. It makes for good racing, and some elevation is always nice. You don't have to cross over. You don't have to bridge your track, but at least some elevation gives you that extra speed in certain areas, and it gives you a little bit more technical racing. Yeah, when I first started, I did a flat track, and I had only R1s. It was a 12-foot by 6-foot layout. And you can see it on my website, the DDT track. And it was fun, but after using it for over a year, you just get bored of it.
Right.
So, that's why I like plastic tracking and just switch it around. So, yeah. S turns, I love S turns. Intermingling of different corner radiuses can make some really interesting turns as well. So you're not limited to just using the R4 outside the R3. You can actually intermix them to give you nice S curves.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So you mentioned you like to have two good straights.
Yeah.
Are these straights normally, like when you're thinking about putting the 2 straights, are you thinking about having them parallel?
Not really. It depends. It depends on the track.
Right.
But normally the way we build tables are very linear. They're very like blockish. So you normally have the 2 opposites and straights. But what you can do is you can come on. So you can have the front straight, then loop out, and then come into the infield, and then have a back straight that kind of marries the front straight. Like I have, kind of like on my track, I have 3 straights on my track. Currently, I have the a smaller straight on the back end, and then 2 straight side by side, right? So if you look at it here, you can see like there's 2 straights. There's the main straight that comes down pit lane, and then there's a straight that goes over the pits as well. It's kind of got a kink to it when you're heading down, and then goes into a corkscrew and a hairpin. And then you get the little back straight after you climb up. So that kind of gives you an idea of a very fast track. This track is very fast, very smooth, very fast. The cars don't get unsettled, and they can even take the corkscrew really fast as well. So it makes for good racing.
Nice. Yeah, on mine, I just realized I have the same sort of thing going on where I have sort of the 2 straights. I have the front stretch, and then I have the over the valley sort of area past the pit road. So I was just thinking about that when you said that, and that actually makes sense too, because that's essentially what I have going on here. Oh shit! I just changed. That's essentially what I have going on in this picture right here, what you just mentioned, right?
Yeah, the
See,
straight.
I've got my straight along the back, and then I have like what I'm going to do is this line here will be back a little bit more.
Yeah.
And then it'll
So
be
you're going to go on top of the other, right?
right. Yeah, it'll just go over top, just enough to get one of those trucks underneath it. The cleaner truck I want to buy. That's why. So
yeah, 4 inches high. That's it's really a Carrera box. So if you use one of your Carrera boxes, that's your height. It's
okay.
4 inches that will fit, and then all Carrera cars will go under that, as well as if you get the digital starting bridge from Carrera, you're limited by that height as well.
Right. And have you used that bridge piece or whatever it is, like the hill or whatever?
Well, yeah, it's right here. You can't see it here, but right behind my control tower here is the digital bridge. It's got the starting lights.
Right.
So yeah, it's right there. I wish I had more angles. I didn't set up more cameras, but yeah, I mean, that's where I have. This is my front straight. It's 11 straights long.
Oh man.
Yeah, so this is 11 straights down into. This is a very open swooping turn that comes under a bridge into the military base. So I'm kind of building out a military base here and stuff. So
Yeah, I was checking that video you sent me. Wow, that's pretty cool, man.
yeah, yeah, I did a video. Yeah, there's one. I forget what I've done and what I haven't, but yeah, just put all the barriers up, and I made a short on that as well and put it up. So yeah, there's a long way to go. This is a new layout. This is how much I've accomplished over the past 2.5 weeks. And then now I'll just go through and start building out all the pieces for it.
Right.
Yeah. And then yeah, this is the GRL track, which is normally my Lego City. But I've taken down the Lego City right now because I normally have a Lego City here that has a track that runs through it.
Oh,
But
nice.
right now, my Lego City is in the side there, and this is the GRL track that we're running right now for round 2, heat 2. So
very cool.
Yeah,
Totally cool. Yeah, it's nice to have the side track too. That's what I plan on doing as well. Eventually, is having the global racing track sort of separate from my actual track.
Yeah, I got the AFX track, so I'm gonna try and put that around the edge of this table here.
Oh yeah.
So I can get like all the way around it here with the AFX track.
Yeah,
I'll probably just do a 2-lane. I won't do a 4-lane. I don't need a 4-lane for it. So I'll probably do a 2-lane AFX track all the way around the edge of this table, and then I can still put my Lego City up with I have a collector track with jumps and intersections for the Lego City, so
oh yeah,
I'll put that back in after, probably during the Christmas break, so I can do some video with that.
Well, you have the Super International, so you got enough track to wrap it around that table probably twice. So Yeah, that's absolutely the right idea.
Yeah, this is a 10-foot by 10-foot table, so it should be good to put that up.
Oh yeah, absolutely, absolutely.
Yeah.
Mine's 10 by 13, so yeah, that's a nice size table for HO. That's a lot of track.
Yeah.
If you're just trying to fill up the space, that's an awful lot of track you can put in there. But if you want it nice, that's a really nice layout.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the problem with the Super International, Mike, is the 6R curves. I think that's what I liked so much about the horsepower shootout is it didn't come with. I don't think it came with any R6 curves. It sure came with a lot of 18s and 15s though. When you're talking about whether you want a fast track or a slow track, when you're setting up, if you're buying a brand new track and you want to go fast, I would suggest you pick one of the bigger sets, for sure. And the horsepower shootout comes with those two cars as well, which are worth the price of the whole set itself. And for the international, by the way, each one of those cars is worth $100 all day, every day, and the set is only worth $400. So when you're trying to decide which set you should buy, just think about it. When you buy the AFX Super International, you're getting all the track pieces for free because if you've been on the internet or eBay, you know that the 4 cars that come in that set are all worth $100. So
Yeah. Yeah, this table is 16 feet by 8 feet. This one. So
16 by 8.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's you have the room. Where is this track in your house, Roll?
Both tracks are side by side. I brought this track back. It used to be 28 feet long by 10 feet wide, and I brought it back because it was going through the wall into the other room, and became a headache to marshal. So I brought it back to 16 by 8 now. So this is the new track. Because I had the track go around my Lego city in the air before, so I have video of that. But yeah, it's much more manageable at 16 by 8. It's all, when you have a lot of track, like I have 800 feet of track, so you want to use it, and you try and
Oh
do crazy
my
things
God.
with it. So pushing it through the walls and stuff, I did all that.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, the 16 by 8 is perfect for me to do my videos, to give the cars enough legs to run. Yeah, and then so I brought it back down to that, and then on the other side of that wall is the 10 by 10. That's where the Lego City and now the GRL track is. Yeah.
Wow. Does anybody have any questions about track size or layout? Any layout questions? So for myself, like I said, I'm going with just a simpler idea, one level with a little bit of sort of overage, probably about 5 feet worth of 2-layer racing there. Just because I want to keep most of the stuff, like Raul said, adding some elevation to your set, even if it's not cars going under or over. Just looks good. It's appealing to the eye. Everybody likes to see a little bit less of a non-linear layout where where you're definitely moving to a different level, that kind of thing. So for myself, I wanted, of course, to have the quick section, and that would be almost exactly what you were talking about, Raul, where you've got your 2 main straights. For me, I think for my main straight, I'm probably looking at doing maybe 8 straights. I think they're how long is a straight? Is it 18 inches long or 16?
No, it's not. It's 13, I believe.
13. Okay.
Yeah, 13
Yeah.
and a quarter, and I think.
So then it's
forget
about.
off the top of my head.
I was probably right with about eight pieces across that one wall. That would be right up against the wall. And
Yeah. Yeah, it should be. So your overall length across the back wall, what is it?
The back wall length is about 20 or just around 20 feet.
Yeah, so you'll have maybe about 12 straights before your turns. Depends on what turn you use. If you use our 1 in 60 or the the really sharp turn, then you can get maybe 13 straights about down the back.
Right.
Because on my 12, when I had 12-foot long table, actually I can bring up that.
See,
Give me
because I
one
plan on
second.
using the is it the 3 for 30 or the 4 for 30? One of those two I want to use here. This bottom section right here, I want it to be the 3 for 30. So that when you come
Yeah.
up, when you come down, you'll be coming down, you'll go in, you'll go out again, and then 3 for 30 right here, I was thinking. That way you'd be able to get a little speed and carry it into the straightaway.
Let's see.
What is this? I would buy another. Yeah. Or you could save yourself a ton of cash, Mike, of course, and go visit my store on eBay. Guys, if you need some AFX products right now, all I have listed is AFX products. But I have the best prices on eBay listed right now. If you're not sure, go check it out. But please do so after this live. You can find my store. It's AFX_man. And that's where you'll find me. So if you're interested in AFX cars, best prices on eBay right there. And I'll be listing Auto World cars soon. So stay tuned.
Yeah, if you share my screen there, Dan, I think you can see it as a feed at the bottom. Yeah, so right here, can you see it? Is it changing? Weird.
I think we found Adam's page.
Yeah, let me just see what's going on there. Let me see.
Oh, that's a good question. Here's a question from Rick Rowell.
I have jumpers every 10 connections, Rick.
And what do you suggest?
That's normally what everyone will suggest.
Okay.
Every 10 connections.
And in this case, are you buying the Carrera jumpers?
I just I use the Carrera jumpers, but I spice my own as well.
Right.
Because they're not long enough, and I use I have an Omni slot box which allows me to switch from digital to analog.
Yeah.
And that one has its own it has its own jumpers, jumper connection points.
Oh, so,
yeah.
See, I can see myself maybe buying a set or two of the jumpers, but by that time I'd already have figured out how to make them without it costing $50.
Yeah. Oh, so, you can just use 16 gauge speaker wire.
Yeah, well, that's what I thought too, right? Yeah. But I have to actually visually look at it first before I start manipulating things. So here we go.
Yeah, so basically if you go, I don't know what this thing is updating. It doesn't seem to update when you switch screens. Huh, interesting.
So where is this? Where was that?
This is the DDT. So give me 1 second. I just I don't know why it's not when I'm changing on activating screens. It's not changing.
Oh,
it's very strange. Okay, so if you can bring that up, then this one will show. So this is the DDT track. So this is 12 foot down the back edge here.
Oh, wow.
That's 12 feet. So if you notice, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 straights down the back, and then you get into the R1. So this is the 1 in 60 turns.
Here. Oh yeah, okay.
Yeah, so this was my old track. It was 12 feet. This was 6 feet wide, and this kind of overhung. This was 8 foot by 6 foot, and then this was like an extra overhang. So it was kind of like a little L shape. So yeah, this is the track that I originally started with. So
So
you can see.
this track was made for speed, obviously.
No, this is not very. This is not a very fast track because you get a little bit of speed on the back straight, but then these are all sharp turns. These are all 160s,
Okay.
so it gets really tight and technical.
So is uh obviously the track that I bought, the Evolution, is filled with the 60s.
Yeah,
Is that like now I obviously realize that this is something that they just put in there so that you know the average buyer ends up with something that looks easily to build because they just
you
work out better.
the cars can handle the 60s. I mean, if you you know when you watch the GRL, like if I go to, I don't know if this is going to switch up for you guys, but let's have a look at this, right? I'm gonna, I don't know why it's doing that, but let me, it doesn't really screen share well, so let's just see. Let's stop this screen and let's start another screen.
And Dawn has a question there.
Sure. Do analog size needs jumpers also? Yeah, we recommend jumpers. I mean, so what you're gonna find is like on my 16 foot by my 8 foot layout right now. I'm not really. I haven't even activated my jumpers. The cars will go around no problem. What will happen is when you go into a racing mode, analog is more forgiving because you only have two cars on the track. When we go digital, when we put 6 cars, there's a lot of power draw. So if you don't have jumpers and you don't have leads, you'll find that your cars will start to uh, kind of like lag. So now I am spoiled because I have independent power supplies for each lane as well on my track.
Oh wow.
So my power draws is very much controlled. But you will find with with Carrera, especially with the stainless steel track, there's a lot of really good connectivity across the track, so you don't get a lot of power drop. So Dan, obviously, when you put together your track, you saw no power drop. When you put in the new straights, when you add those in, you'll find that there's not a lot of power drop either, because the connectivity is so good on the track.
Right.
Um, yeah, so it really comes down to like digital is where you get a lot of power draw because you can imagine 6 cars running on the track, and it takes a lot of juice off the track. And so it's
Yeah.
always good to put a variable power supply in first. I think one of the first upgrades, I even talked to you about this. It's very simple to do. And we have videos online on how to create your own Carrera connector for a variable power supply, which everyone has, and they're very cheap on Amazon. You
Yeah.
get
It's
a yeah, you get your 30-volt, 10 amp variable power supply, and hook it up, and Carrera 132nd runs at 14.8 volts, and then the 124 runs at 18.5 volts or something like that. So with the variable power supply, you get a lot of control. And I also found with the variable power supply, when we did have full cars racing on the digital track, you didn't need jumpers. There was not a lot of power. It didn't ever drop below the power draw required.
I see.
So for a long time, when I first started, I didn't know much about wiring, obviously, and power and leads. So
Mhm.
when we built our tracks, they were 16 feet long, whatever they were. We didn't use leads, right? We just ran them the way they were, and we were
Oh yeah.
running fine. But then, you'll find like when we started connecting smart race and all of that, and doing pit stops and all of that, there was a lot of like power outs or brownouts or whatever it was, and we had to put the leads in. So you don't really need a lot of leads. Some people just get away with 2 leads on a 16-foot track. So
Right.
I had a commercial track where it was 20 foot long and 8 foot wide, and I only had 4 leads on it, and they worked perfectly. It never ran out of juice at all.
Good. All right. So what do we got here? Uh Right. Okay. So
So on the AFX stuff, do you guys run leads?
uh
The power draws?
yeah, let's start with the power pack. It's the same thing you're using, the aftermarket computer thing, the 10 amp, 30 watt, or pardon me, I've got it backwards. Yeah, no, that's right, 10 amp, 30 volts,
30 volts.
10 amp, 30 volt computer power supply. For HO, we use the exact same one. So that's probably something that like for you, for the larger scale and for HO, that's probably suggested that be your first aftermarket purchase. Both, for the obvious reasons. And then I would have to say probably the second one would be you got to get yourself, a decent controller of sorts.
Yeah.
And I'll talk about this one in about a week or so. So many people have received this particular one in mail lately that I think the YouTube internet algorithm probably dropped over dead from the amount of people who are showing this. So this is, of course, the DD505, and I want to thank Jim DeFalco personally. Really nice guy, and did a really nice deal, and definitely a solid job for the slot car community and my Discord channel. So for the guys in my Discord channel who got one of these or are multiple of these, absolutely fantastic. I think we got a really good deal, and Jim from DeFalco certainly did us good. He was willing to offer me a discount on my single controller, and I asked him, instead of me getting a discount, how much would it be? How much can you discount everybody who wants one instead of just me? So he was literally going to give me a super like crazy deal where literally he almost pretty much hands it to me. Instead, I said, no. Can you give, these 5 or 6 people a discount as well? Cut my discount down if you have to, meaning, it doesn't have to be so much. Just I'd like to share it with, share this discount with some other people. So in the end, it was a really good deal for us. And like I said, once again, I want to thank Jim DeFalco Controllers. Absolutely fantastic. Really nice guy. So if you don't have a DeFalco, whether you're driving, doesn't matter what size you're driving, he's got a controller for you. Now, the only thing I haven't seen is DeFalco digital controller. So as far as,
so he doesn't make a digital.
that's what I thought.
The digital comes from Ramjet, or you can get the True Speed controllers. They have digital controllers. Same thing. Lots of banding inside the swiper. So more control. I have both the Ramjet and I have the True Speed as well.
Yeah, I've been looking at the Ramjet actually because that one's the sort of economical. It looks like off eBay, I would end up paying $129 plus delivery for it.
True Speed is not that expensive either.
No, okay, maybe I was looking at a higher end True Speed, but while we think about which controller I should buy, we'll run through this for a second. So I'm sitting here thinking, how can I make a bell notification video that viewers will actually want to watch?
You're gonna want that cowbell.
Did he just say cowbell?
I gotta have more cowbell.
It's not a cowbell.
I could have used a little more cowbell.
All right then, hit the cowbell notification button so you don't miss any of my up and coming content. Woo! Hey, 3Bean, how you doing, brother? Thanks for joining us.
Hey, Dan, how are you? That's Dan, too.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, we're talking about the True Speed controllers. They're really good. I got wired controllers for both mine.
Yeah.
Although Ramjet makes their wireless ones. I don't know if True Speed does it, too. So, but I prefer the wired ones for what I do.
Yeah, I think what I heard, the main problem was Carrera is restricted to like 1.5 feet of cord length for child restrictions, and the other private companies obviously are not restricted because they're not what am I looking for? They're not sold or marketed to kids. These other ones are marketed more for adults, and they're not under the same restriction as a toy would be. So
Yeah, totally.
yeah, and they look pretty good actually. I can't remember who I was looking at, but someone they actually did the comparison of the True Speed and the sorry, what is it? Something Jet again?
Ramjet.
Ramjet. He did a comparison of the cord length, and what he found was the little spirally cord coming out the bottom. On one of them, it was just too tight. It wasn't very stretchy. So he said if he moved away from it too far, it had the feeling of pulling on the track. So he was actually joking. He said his kids were whoever had that controller would have to stand directly in front of where the plug-in was. And then he had this other one, the True Speed, and he's walking around the room with it. So
yeah, I don't have any problems with both the controllers. I think they're all good.
yeah,
But when we race, we all race with the digital Carrera controllers, the thumb plungers. It just makes everyone puts everyone on the same page, kind of thing.
right, yeah, absolutely. That is the case, Luke. I will have Jim on the show one day. He's getting his electronic scenario figured out. He's a little bit old school when it comes to social media kind of things. So he's first he's got to get his head wrapped around what's happening, and then I think once he can get set up, he's going to join us at some point in time. I think we'd all like to see him as the slot car fans. He has something to provide for everybody in the slot car industry, and that's everybody. HO, large scale, doesn't matter. He's got something for everyone, except of course the digital part. In which case that would be ideally one of the two controllers we've just mentioned. Now, they're not exclusively these two controllers. There's other ones out there, but these two would be the first ones that come to my mind when I start looking for them anyways. Yeah, and let me see. Uh-oh.
Uncomfortable silence.
Yeah.
I could sing and dance. Anyone want to see that? That's a lie. I built slot cars for a living. That's a lie too.
If you're making a living off slot cars, I don't want to know your secret.
Yeah, exactly right.
Yeah, so
I say I have a house, but really, this closet, this room where you see me, this is where I live.
yeah. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. At some point, I'm gonna set up the AFX track. I don't know whether to set up the AFX track or the Carrera Go track and run my AFX cars on the Carrera Go, because I have so much Carrera Go track as well. So, and that track is pretty. I have a rally track from Carrera Go, so maybe that's more
nice.
interesting. I don't know. It's interesting. Also, it has the loops, it has the jumps, it has all the crazy stuff. I like that kind of gimmicky stuff. It makes for cool videos. So
Yeah, that's there's not really too much of that. The loop-de-loops and stuff, I think most people on HO try and keep them off.
I know.
It just it severely complicates things. First off, some of the cars can't even make the loop. So,
Yeah.
you spend all that time setting all that stuff up. Oh, it looks cool, and then you go to run it and all the cars are dropping from the top of the circle.
Yeah, I like to do work. Like for myself, it's a lot of video work, so I like to do streaks, and I like to I'll spray a car with glow in the dark paint and send it around the track,
Yeah.
through the loops and stuff. So That's why I have a variety of different track with different kind of like challenges, I'd call them. So like my Skeletric track is very malleable, so you can actually create really massive jumps for slot cars. And people will cringe because cars do get damaged, but that's the thing, right? I do it for the fun of it, not you know, I think it's a lot more fun for the video stuff. So
Right. Yeah, Kenny, I think you're right. In the HO side, those are sort of like a novelty. They're kind of a novelty too, though, in the larger scale, though, where really, if you have a dedicated layout, is this something that you would have in it? I
no,
think
I don't think so.
I think if you're going to build it on your table when family comes over or whatever, but you intend on putting it away, then the loop could be good because you could take it out if you wanted. But if
Yeah.
you're on a solid layout where everything's strapped down, I'm not sure that would be a great idea.
Yeah, I like to do it like set up a track for a specific shoot, like I did for the Halloween stuff. You know, and then you can do a crazy track like that, and it's whimsical, and you get cool effects, and yeah, it's cool for events. But I wouldn't do it as a permanent layout at all. I don't think it's very conducive to the cars either. So
Right.
yeah.
Well, what do we got here? Oh yeah, uh, yeah. The patron crowd. Well, I don't have a dancing video, but I do have this video. Let me see if I can get this up here on the screen. And all right, so this is where I spent all my time before I spent all my time with slot cars. All right. So I don't sing and dance. Dave. That's a bit of a lie, but I have been known to work out once or twice. This is 400 pounds.
Nice.
So that's what I did before slot cars. I know Adam actually is probably going to be cheesed that he missed this because he's always like, "Oh, well, show us what you used to do before slot cars." And I was like, let's just say I used to work out lots in the gym in the time before social media took over in the gym. So I got lots of mirror pictures, but no videos in the gym like today's kids. If you've ever watched all these shorts. Get out of my way. I'd kick your camera stand over in an instant if you were in my way. Keep that in mind, social media people. We don't do that here. I'll set up a track in the gym. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's gotten pretty crazy and out of control. That's easily where I used to spend a lot of my time. And then my back got hurt at work, of course, and instantly everything that I had built up to that particular point was gone the very next day. So here I am. Yeah, water-filled weights. Yeah, that's right, Rich. I choose the 45-pound water-filled weights because it's hey, odd you should mention that because the person who taught me to Olympic lift, doing the snatch and the clean and jerk and the deadlift and stuff, that was my wife. Irene taught me all that stuff. I knew how to. Of course, I was extremely strong, but I couldn't do any Olympic lifting. I'd never learned. So yeah, I got a few videos of me doing a few Olympic lifts as well. 500-pound deadlift a few times, that kind of thing. But it's not really something, I don't have a channel for it. So it's sort of going to be gone in the past sooner or later. So, you guys have probably seen it. That'll probably be the last time I ever show it. So, I hope everybody enjoyed it. Yeah. So, Yeah, and then I was doing CrossFit for a while, and that's just a big joke. So yeah, powerlifter another life ago, exactly right. Yeah, it seems so long ago, but of course, without that happening, there's probably absolutely no way that I would have gotten into slot cars again. I do say again, because what I would, man, I would spend 3 hours, 4 hours a day in the gym, 6 days a week. And some days I'd even go back at nights just to do a little cardio. So it was pretty excessive. It's what I was comfortable doing. So I was very happy to find the slot car community. Yeah, eat food and watch slot car channels. Yeah, no kidding, Adam. Totally right. So yeah, it's I'm very happy to have found this community. There's no question about that. So without finding slot cars again, I don't know what I'd be doing right now, because certainly working out. I met Irene working out and stuff. We shared the same passion for everything, Olympic lifting and just normal static lifting. So it's very strong. There's not too many girls who can do a whole handful of push-ups in one shot. So, yeah, Kenny, I'm 52, brother. Not 52. I'm 50 as well. So I could power lift a good sized porterhouse. Yeah, that's all I'm powerlifting these days. Stuff to my yap. Yeah, that's pretty good. Yeah, I nailed that one down, Dave. Man. So yeah. So that's sort of where I was before. So anyways, a little bit sidetracked there, but that's okay. So in my new layout, I definitely plan on having the 2 fast sections that Raul was talking about. 12-ounce curls. Oh my gosh, I'm so hungry now. 12-ounce curls and 15-ounce pints. Oh my gosh. Now I'm totally hungry. All right. So Parsippany. Anybody here going to Parsippany this weekend? Maybe Adam. Adam, are you going to Parsippany this weekend? And grape gummies. Oh yeah, of course. Yeah, no. The 500-pound deadlift. That was we do that like between 8 and 10 times. Of course, being part of CrossFit, you can't just do anything once. They have to just push you to a retarded level, and that's why I quit after a while, because it's just absolute garbage. What they're going to do is give you a heart attack, or you're going to end up getting hurt. Okay, so you're going to be at Parsippany. Are you going live? And if so, which day? Always have grape gummies, brother. All right. Okay, so
So any new cars you got, Dan?
no, but I was just actually about to ask you which direction I should go. Now, if I'm buying a car now, for my first couple cars, I want to keep it simple. I don't want to have to tinker around with them. So I was thinking I was going to buy just right off the hop Carrera digital cars. I don't want to have to chip anything. I already have 3 cars that I need to chip. But I want to I want to learn the digital system first. And of course, I'll need 2 cars, one for me, one for my wife. And I'll have obviously the 2 controllers, and I'll build everything from there. This, of course, is what I always call and what I tell everybody. This is your get the foot in the door phase. I couldn't afford to buy the digital set for $500. I really wish I could have, because that would have simplified things. But instead, what I did was I bought the Evolution set, and I'm having to buy all the digital accessories around that. to me, that's absolutely fine. I really just needed to get my foot in the door. And once your foot's in the door's open. So, but if you don't go that far, all you got is planning. And I know lots of good planners. But as for making things come to fruition, not so good usually. So I tend that if I find an idea and I sort of want to get on it, I have to act on it. Yeah, Carrera actually does have muscle cars. I was actually looking at, what did I see today? I seen the 55 again, and the Carrera's 55 actually has a blower sticking out of the hood. They have, what is the black car with the flames on it, Raul? I'm sure you've seen it. It looks like a Nova. It's not a Nova, though, I'm pretty sure.
Not too sure.
But it's got the black look, and Carrera has
You have all the NASCARs, so the older NASCARs,
yeah,
the Superbirds, and
the Chevelle. Thank you, John. That's absolutely it. The Chevelle, the black Chevelle with the flames. That's one I've been looking at for the last little while. Yeah, that's the one, Dave. Absolutely, really stunning looking car. And of course, who has the muscle cars like the
Pioneer?
Pioneer, that's it.
And you can buy a Pioneer car, and you can get a Carson chip and just put it in. It's got
Right.
a door underneath. You just unscrew it and plug the chip in, and it works on your digital. So you
Right.
can get the 70 Chargers. You can get the Camaro just come out.
Right.
You can get I believe they have the Mustangs too. I'm not too sure, but I have the 70s Chargers. And yeah, so that's my favorite car. So I have a lot of them.
Have you or has anybody in the comment section tried the new Mustangs, the 132nd Mustangs? I know they come in
From
several
Carrera,
different. Yeah,
they're good. The one that I got had a warp chassis, so it wasn't a good runner. But Massimo has run his a couple of times. Yeah, they're okay.
All right, because I'm gonna buy two. Like I said, I'm gonna buy two of something. I was kind of hoping that the 510s from Revo slot would have been here by now, but it's got to be soon, I would imagine.
Probably February next year, though.
Oh, is that right? I thought it was supposed to be.
That's what people are saying. So the drop is around February next year.
Okay, I heard it was end of November, so it's always. Or is this just a predictable thing in the larger scale?
They showed them off. That doesn't mean they're coming out right away. I don't know. But a lot of us have already pre-ordered them, right?
Yeah.
Because they also showed the Toyotas, the GT1s, or I forget. There's another Revo slot coming out as well, which I also pre-ordered. Yeah. So the Revos are pretty cool.
Yeah.
But like nothing works as good on the Carrera digital system as a Carrera digital car. So, and the Carrera is known for their DTMs and the GT3 cars. So, if you want to get a good experience, I'd get two GT3 cars. Like there's the KTM Crossbow. There's they have the new Audi R8 that just came out. The Lamborghini Huracans.
Yeah.
The Ferrari 488s. They're all good cars. They run really well. Really good for racing, and you get tight racing out of them. They also have the Mustang GTY, which is like a concept car, but it's a handful to drive. So,
I see.
It's a lot of fun. I love running them in a series. But yeah, if I were you, I'd pick up some GT3 or DTM cars. You already have two DTMs. You can just buy the chips for them.
Oh, I see. Okay. Now you're Canadian, so if you have to purchase a chip or something, where are you getting it
Hyundai
from?
stock cars. That's why I get everything on mine.
Right.
Billy and Amanda are my crack dealers. I call them plastic crack dealers. So.
Yeah, I've been sniping their site lately, looking through it about once every day, putting a mental list in my mind of where to find the stuff that I'm going to need. I need the Bluetooth adapter for the gas, the pit lane. I need the pit lane, and what else do I need? Oh, and two cars, and then that would pretty much give me everything that a digital system would have. I don't plan on getting the scoreboard. It seems kind of redundant when you got it on your TV in front of you. And I'm not going to get the driver stations because that would just be ridiculous.
Well, you don't need them. Are you going to use Smart Race for your tracking? So with Smart Race, your phones, you can link the phone to the Smart Race app, and you get all the details about your car on your phone. So it becomes a driver station anyway.
I already have it downloaded. I don't even have the system yet, but it's downloaded on my phone. I'm not ready for it. So
yeah, so I would recommend getting an iPad for your Smart Race and then using your phone as your driver display center for your car.
Perfect. So, that's what I plan on doing. Yeah.
And then each one of you can put the Smart Connect app on your phones, and then it will sync up to the app when it's running on your iPad, and you get your details of your car on your phone.
Oh yeah.
You can adjust your braking, your acceleration. You'll tell you when you run out of fuel, etc. So,
right.
And it's pretty cool if you Bluetooth. If you have earbuds or your Bluetooth headset, it will actually speak into your ear, just like that.
Yeah. I have some Raycons, man. Some really nice Raycons.
Yeah, so it becomes very immersive. So if you wear your Bluetooth headsets, then you're kind of immersed inside the race.
Very nice. Yeah, I plan to do car reviews and then race them with Irene. So we're gonna do a series for each set of cars we buy. I'm gonna always try and buy 2 cars that are the same. Not the same, but at least the same chassis and the same build, so that they'll always be equal. You know what I mean? So for now, I can only plan on having 2 people there, me and Irene. And anybody else who will be joining us. Of course, there'll be more cars in the future, but for now, of course, I'm going to buy them all like in 2s, just like the ants. And and that's how I'll take it from here. And then, of course, I'll end up buying chips for the 3 cars that I have now that aren't chipped. But like I said, I want to keep them these particular cars unchipped for now, so that
you can just switch there's a switch underneath the car that you switch from analog to digital. Once you chip the car, there's a switch. You can switch any car from digital to analog. Yeah, you can just put the chip in, and you can still use the cars as analog cars.
Oh, okay. Wow. You see, yeah. Review video coming. I've just figured out there's a switch on the bottom. Awesome. So
they call it the polarity switch, but really, it lets you switch from the digital chip to the analog chip.
Oh, is that what that is?
Not really. It's not the chip. It basically switches polarity because I believe the analog track runs in different polarity from the digital track. So by switching that, but that's a polarity switch. So by switching it back, you can switch to the analog. The car behave like an analog car.
And just by flicking that switch?
Yeah. Oh, I'll bring one over.
Come on. That's so awesome. Kenny, what the chips do is they allow the digital system to work. It allows the track to know when your car is getting close to a switch point. There's many. It allows for 6 cars to be on a 2-lane track. So these are just 2 things that the chip allows for. It's not like HO where the controller controls the speed. In a digital system, the chip actually controls the car.
And you get focusing.
Oh, hang on a sec. Let me blow that up for you.
Yeah. So here, right here, there's a switch.
Yeah.
So if you switch that over, right now this is in digital mode. If I switch it over, it becomes analog.
Oh,
so nice. When you switch it over, when you put it onto an analog track, it won't go. We just pick it up and tap it 3 times on the track, and then we'll start to go. Yeah, it's weird. It's just the way it is. So because I use it for my tire truer, like I have a sanding tire truer, which is its own setup station. It's meant for analog cars. So when I want to sand down my tires, I just switch the flick the switch and then tap it 3 times on the analog system, and we'll trigger the car to run. And yeah, then sand it down, then switch it back and put it on the digital track, and it backs to digital again. So
Nice. Yeah, that's yeah, that is pretty crazy, Kenny. And when you think about it, brother, just I'm really getting anxious now because I really, if you've ever watched the 132nd digital racing, and there's a lot of it out there, and it's all really, I find it all really good usually. It's you know, the operation of a track that in my mind is exactly the way slot car enthusiasts want their tracks to operate. I don't think there's an HO person in this room right now that doesn't want to change lanes. Right? We all want to change lanes. We all want to go into the pits. We all want to simulate gas ups. We all want to run more than 2 cars. And you know, so I'm tried and true HO. But this Carrera, I tell you, I'm almost certain this is the way slot car was meant to be served up. But we're definitely going to take it for a ride, and we're going to enjoy it as much as we can. So
yeah, you can run ghost cars too, right? So if you're just alone and you want to run, you can put 4 cars on ghost car mode and race against them.
yeah, you see, I like that.
Right. So you can put up to 6 cars on a digital 2-lane track, and you could have like 5 of them be ghost cars running, and you race against them. So it gets pretty cool.
Fantastic. You see, and if you want to do that with HO, of course, you're stuck to the 2 lanes, but AFX does have the Ghost Racer set, and it came with the ability to set 1 lane so that you can race that car. But it's certainly nothing like Carrera because if I'm correct, the digital cars, when they're set on just normal mode by themselves, will always switch tracks. Is that correct?
Yeah, so on ghost car mode, they don't switch they intermittently switch.
Oh, okay.
So the cool thing is they can block you, right? So so you have to be aware of that. But I mean, that's the whole fun of racing with multiple cars on a track.
Right.
So yeah.
I've seen Johnny Hobby. He actually, for his ghost cars, he'll put a piece of tape over the sensor.
So there's 3 different modes. So there's a regular mode, and then there's the ghost car mode, and then there's the pace car mode. The pace car mode will bring them into the pit. So I think just, you know, I don't tape. I tape over the sensors on the track when I'm videoing because I don't want my cars to switch lanes because I use a camera car to run against them when they're running.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, that's a cool thing. If you don't want them to switch, just tape over the LEDs
Right.
on the track. So
yeah, Kenny, in the digital system, it's not, like I said, it's not the trigger that's controlling the speed of the car. It's the actual chip itself. So for the digital car, what happens is the power goes in to the chip, and the chip decides what's happening with your controller as in inputs, and the chip decides the speed, the braking, and everything. In HO, your controller decides that. In digital racing, everything is controlled by the digital chip in the car. Otherwise, you just have an analog car, which is exactly like HO. If you want to run an analog 132 set, that is exactly like HO. There's no difference aside from the size of the car. Now, when you talk about having a more immersive experience, you're definitely talking about digital. And
digital 30 times. I've never had it more than 3 times, dude. Yeah.
Oh, I see. So what is when you drop it to the track like that a few times, what are you doing? You're basically
just touching the contacts. So right now, let's see.
Takes like 30 times. Oh, I like the Expo too. I was looking at that car just before we came on.
Nice. All right, you know what? Let me just switch this on 1 second.
Sure. Raul's gonna dance for us. All right, so Raul's doing that. I'll tell a quick joke. I think some people have already heard this joke before, but you might not. Okay, so there's this really cool guy. There's this really nerdy guy, and he's walking down the beach. He sees this really cool guy, and there's all these girls around him. And he's like, and the nerdy guy's thinking, gosh, I'd sure like to be like this guy. So he walked up to the popular guy with all the girls around him and said, hey, how do I get all these girls to like swarm around me and want me like they want you? He pulls him aside and says, listen, this is what you do. You take a potato and you put it in your pants. So the guy's like, well, that's kind of strange, but if it's working for you, it must work for me. So the next day, the nerdy guy comes back to the beach and all the girls are running from him, running top speed, running away as fast as they can. He finally gets to the cool guy with all the girls around him, and he says, hey, listen, man, you told me in order to be popular with all the girls like you, I needed to put this potato in my pants. And the guy looked at him and said, dude, the potato goes in the front of your pants, not the back.
Well, okay, then. So as you can see right now, I have the power on this. This is an analog sanding machine. It's just got a little like sandpaper block there.
Yep.
I can place a car on it. You can see it's not powered up because it's in digital. It's switched to digital here. Right here, the switch is on digital.
Right.
So if I put it on, it doesn't power up. I'm going to switch it now to analog. So just flip that, and I'm going to tap it. So the first time I put it on, you see the lights come on. It means it's ready to go.
Oh, okay.
And now you can hear it running. See, I just picked it up and tapped it, and then over time, and then it's now running.
So what you're doing is you're creating a surge then that switches the digital switch inside the car then, I guess, right?
And then if I switch it back to digital now and put it down, it won't run. That's it. But it's back to digital. So you can take this now and put it on the track, and it will run on digital mode. But that's the beauty of these chips.
Nice.
Right.
Yeah, Kenny, there's several modes that the cars can run in. And a few of them are autonomous where they don't require human inputs. They just do their thing. Right. Yeah, that's a thank you, Danny, or Dick Slot Car Garage. That's sort of what I was trying to say, but a little bit better that way. Let me highlight that. The power goes to the chip, and the chip decides from there.
Yeah.
And
so
for HO, of course, it's the power goes directly to the car, to the track, to the car, to the controller.
The easiest thing to understand is on a digital track, you do not need the loop to close. So you do not need to close the track. You can have one single straight, and it will run on digital because the power is actually coming from the chip. The chip is actually bringing the power to the car. Whereas with analog, you have to close that loop. So you have to actually have a closed loop track.
Right.
So you can do digital drag strips, which is what I do. I run 1/8 mile to scale to 1/32 digital drag strip. And I run cars against each other. Right. So that's the fun part of that as well.
Well, I wonder how many feet is on
21 feet. 21 feet is a 1/8 mile to scale in 1/32, and I run that once a year. I run 48 cars head to head.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, that's it's very interesting, and I really can't wait to get out to start doing this. Watching everybody run their tracks. I must have watched Dick Slot Car Garage about 3 times when he wired up the computer power pack. He's done that. I've watched it a few times now because he was pretty good, pretty to the point. I really like people who show what they're doing and talk about it as well, so that you can visually and mentally get a grasp for it. It was very clear what you're doing there, Danny, and I absolutely appreciate it. I can tell you this much: when I'm wiring up my system, I'll definitely be playing your video. because as we all know, that's an important part in slot cars is you're going to have to change the power supply, especially if you want to run a 124 now. That would involve a different power pack altogether, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, so the 124 power pack is bigger, so
Right.
it runs 18.5 volts, I think, or something like that. And then the 132nd is smaller, but it's better just to get a variable power supply, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you can get them very inexpensive now. Yeah, so like this is a Pioneer Legends car right here,
Oh yes, I like those.
right? And this one has a DPR door. You see that door underneath there?
Yep.
So you unscrew that door and you can put in a Carson chip, which will convert this to a digital Carrera car. So, and it's the same DPR door that you get on the electric cars as well. So a lot of the cars in come ready to accept digital chips. Even reverse slots are drilled out to accept digital chips. Slotted comes with the digital chips adapter pieces, so you can actually put the digital chip in and secure it in place on the modern slotted cars. And Slotted itself sells a digital chip that they make for Carrera that is a plug and play to their cars.
Cool.
Yeah, so very immersive.
Right. Yeah, that's the way to go. Somebody's we may have another guest. Hang on a second. Let me see what I can do here. All right. So now a question that blew by earlier that I didn't catch up with until now, but what cars would you suggest, Raul, that somebody who's just starting off, like I could tell you right off the hop which cars you should be driving if you're starting off as HO. But as a larger scale, what cars do you think that I need to drive in order to make sure that I want to drive more? You know what I mean? Like if the car's constantly flying off the track and I can't keep it steady, then I'm going to lose interest. I personally will not lose interest, but people are like that. So what do you think?
Well, the cool thing about digital is you can program the speed down. So, in digital, if you have a digital chip, you can actually switch the speed on the CPU to go down to half speed or even quarter speed, and until you get used to it, and then slowly speed up. So
Right.
every car becomes drivable, right? It's not I say pick the car that you love the most and drive it, and just switch down the speed on the CPU if you're running digital. On analog, I mean, it gets a little bit trickier because, I mean, straight out of the box Carrera cars, if you do buy a set, the two cars run pretty well with each other. Obviously, there's a break-in difference between the motors, right? So you could get a dud, like it happens. I don't think any slot car scale can say that every car they buy is perfect. You do get dud. Sometimes motors don't break in properly, or sometimes I found with Carrera cars, sometimes they need about 100 laps to break in the motor, and then they just all of a sudden they unlock and they become really fast. So,
right.
If you are racing with your friends, the best thing to do is everyone gets the same kind of class, or even the same car in different liveries, and then run those.
Right,
and
I agree. Yeah,
fun races, and that's what I suggest to start.
There are lots of DTM cars that have great liveries on them.
Yeah, GT3 cars are my favorite, so I always pick GT3 cars.
Yeah.
So I have a whole selection of them.
That's what I've been looking at lately too, because then that would mean I would have 4 of them. And I was also looking, of course, I have the 510s from Revo, and I was looking at getting maybe another one of the other Warsteiner delivery. The other
so just
Warsteiner
remember this, right? Carrera cars are very robust, so the plastic is very thick. And like I'll give you an example. I bought a slotted car. I put a digital chip into it. The first time it slid off and hit the rubber tire wall, the whole back end shattered.
Oh wow!
So it's because the plastic is very thin. They are meant to be like competitive cars. They don't take impact really well, right? So Carrera cars are very robust. They're made with thicker plastic. They're heavier cars, all right? So, a solid car comes in around 69 grams. A Carrera car comes around 100, 115 grams. So they are heavier. They're more robust, and they can take a hit, right? Now you'll lose like the side view mirrors and probably the spoilers, but I suggest you take them off if you're racing for the first time.
Right.
Put them to the side. Revo Slot 2, it's a very high gloss finish body, but it's also very thin. And so the lucky thing is you have an aluminum chassis, so it kind of car's weighted. Also, Revo Slots don't come with magnets. So unless you're installing the magnet that they send in the box, you're gonna be at a disadvantage against the Carrera cars because they have magnetic downforce. So like every scale, I think Echo has the same thing. There's a lot of nuances to the cars. There's magnetic downforce. There's weight distribution, there's balance, right? So I say, pick the car that you love, because the more you love the car, the more you want to drive it.
Right.
The more you want to get better at it. Because frustrating as it may be, you'll find a way to drive it. If you are digital, you have a lot of leeway. If you have analog, if you have a variable control speed, if you have a variable power supply, you can dial down the power and still get control of the car, right? So there's ways to make it easier for you to do that.
Yeah, and on the HO side, it's the same thing too. Now the two major manufacturers have the variable power supplies, and that sort of goes along with what you're saying as the analog. If it's a little out of control, then you just dial down a little bit, but you can't do that with digital. So you're sort of locked into what you are. But what you can do with digital is you can control the speed and the braking through the power unit, correct?
Yes, exactly. So with digital, you have control on braking and speed through your CPU or the control unit. So that's why I said digital is very forgiving. Like if anybody came to me and asked, what should I buy? I'd say go digital. If you take the hit, because it saves you a lot in the long run, right? Yeah. And I also say go with the 124 set, because it gets you the borders inside the box. It gets you, you might not want to run 124 cars, but the borders add a lot of dimension to your track, because it allows you to race mag and non-mag, even if you're not going to go 124. Obviously, there is a big investment. I'm not going to lie. Like a digital set is around $900 Canadian, right? 124 with the two cars.
Yeah.
Right? Because it does come with the borders and everything else. But it also comes with a bigger power supply, so you can run both. Right. A Carrera CU, yes, the CU is the starting unit of the track, so it is integrated. Yeah.
Very nice. Awesome. So I guess the next time we have one of these chats, I should have a little bit more done on the track. At least I'll have the top of it done. I'm still waiting on a few digital things, controllers, which will probably be here in the next Monday, Tuesday-esque. And the batteries for said controllers will be here next week, midweek. From Français, s'il vous plaît, merci beaucoup, and that's pretty much it. So I want to thank everybody for being here tonight. Absolutely fantastic. I totally enjoy these community talks that we have now. My personal preference is to have a panel of sorts. But always have something relevant to talk about. It makes it very, to me, it's important to have something to talk about. Otherwise, you get too many uncomfortable silences.
And it's kind of like dating somebody that you don't want to have to be there with. Terrible.
So I thank everyone for being here today. Raul, I want to thank you once again. brother, anytime. I always have a place for you on my show. 100%, man. Anytime.
No worries.
Of course, Dick's Slot Car Garage, you have an open invite to join us as well anytime you'd like. And I could easily say the same for 3Bean. Thank you, guys. I absolutely appreciate you being here. I'm doing my best to keep slot car relevant in the slot car community. I've actually changed my info on my main channel from HO to slot car. So if you look at my read up, it no longer says delving into the world of HO. It now says slot cars. So that's where I'm headed. I don't mean to choke anybody out by having some larger scale there, but man, it certainly shouldn't come as a surprise if you're a member to my or subscriber to my channel, because I've been talking about large scale for a long time. And hey, really, how long can I sit there with this in front of my face without doing something about it? This is what I mean by getting your foot in the door. But this is what I mean by your whole body's already in the door. So absolutely fantastic.
I don't have an addiction.
Yeah, not at all. Hey, not at all.
No, I'm not addicted at all.
You see, that's what I mean. That this is the reason why I'm doing this 3Bean is kind of like this is exactly it. Very rarely in the slot car community does the person only have or only ever played with one scale. Just about everybody I know has had interactions with more than one scale. And I do believe that if you've ever tried or looked or even thought about a Carrera track, get your foot in the door. If that's what you got to do, get your foot in the door. The Evolution set that I bought was $200. Get your foot in the door. If that's what you got to do to get your foot in the door, then do it.
Well, the whole fact that you can run all scales on that track is great.
Right.
Like just look at what Steve and Cheryl are doing from Shen. They're enjoying 143 scale cars on the track the other day. I don't know if you watched the F1 cars racing. That was glorious racing. It was great racing. It was tight racing. And, that's a 143 car. And it inspires me to pick up more 143 cars, to be honest, because like I showed on my last video, the detail level on the 143 is just as impressive, right? So I think I like a track that is standardized so you can run everything on it, which leads me to the larger scale. And the Carrera track, I can run from Echo all the way up to 124. And that's really, you get the best of both worlds, all worlds. So
nice.
I want to thank you for having me on, Dan. It was a pleasure. And yeah, I mean, I'm also trying to see where I started my Echo journey, obviously, because I was watching Chris from Southern Slot Racing, and watching him put together the 4-gear or whatever it was. I'm not good with Echo terminology yet. I'm learning.
That's our 4-gear deluxe pit kit where you build the car.
Yeah, so I mean, that's something that's good because I want to pick up one of those kits, assemble my own Echo car. As I said, I found a person that lives just 5 minutes away from me who has 6,000 Echo cars, and he custom makes his own. So he actually builds all the bodies and everything to scale. So it's an incredible part of the hobby. So definitely something I look forward to exploring a bit more. But at the end of the day, it is a hobby, and it's great to have all these layers. And scale is a layer now. I don't consider it a difference. I just consider it another layer to the hobby.
Yep, agreed.
So,
sure, yeah. There's no reason why you can't be involved in more than one scale. Absolutely none at all. In fact, look at me. I got right now. I currently have 4 tracks in my house. So, you do what you got to do to feel comfortable in your own hobby. Anyways, wow. Awesome. All right. So, there we go. Here's Chris right here.
I know he just walked in.
He just walked in. Chris, your ears must be burning off your head, brother. Raul just finished talking about your setting up of the Super International.
Oh, no, I was talking about the full gear that he was setting up.
Pardon me, the 4-gear. Yeah, the 4-gear build.
I've been following that series. I'll watch that video a couple of times.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna wait till I get my own kit and then watch it again and do it again. But thanks for doing that, Chris. It's good.
Absolutely. I do suggest to you though, Raul, you get yourself a pit kit. Just a normal pit kit, because what's going to happen is you're going to lose one of those springs. I don't know how you are.
Oh yeah. I saw. I forget who was doing that. I think I was watching the guy who comes on all the time, the old guy. He's very big on the Echo stuff. He's got a big like toy channel. I forget. But anyway, I was watching him and his spring just bounced off and he couldn't find it. And he was talking about that. So definitely.
When I did the extraction chassis build, the upside down build, I lost 3 springs, so it's very easy to do. Plus,
I got that silicone mat with the magnetic parts on it, so it just taps in there, and I'll probably keep it there.
Yeah, that's the deal.
Yep.
So, anyways, we're at the end of the night, and I want to thank everybody for being here. Absolutely fantastic, guys. Always remember to check out your local, I used to say HO, but also how about always remember to check out your local slot car channel. I'm sure there's always something there that you've never seen or noticed before. I've certainly learned a lot in the last month. Ever since I've got my first Revo, I've just been sort of digging in. I've been looking through places like eBay. I spent 3 or 4 hours looking at places like Pendle Slot. Just trying to gain some knowledge. Like I said, I want to be able to look at a 132nd car, look at an HO car, and that's like I want to be able to tear it apart in my mind, and I can't do that right now. So, as a technical and mechanically inclined person, you know right away that I'm going to be tearing apart some cars on camera. So definitely stay tuned for that. Once again, though, I'm really good at taking things apart. Not always the best at putting them back together, but we have a good community, and I'm sure somebody can show me. But anyways, as we're heading out, another Ed just arrived. Thanks for joining us, Ed. I'm going to say hi and bye in the same go. So we'll start off with Ed. Thanks for joining us, Ed. And have a good night. Robert Fish, thanks for joining us. DT and I, it's good to see you, brother. Stick around. We miss you. Southern Slot Racing, Chris, thank you very much, brother. Sean Hurley, sorry your car got sent back, brother. That's total honk, and I'm totally PO'd about it. I think what happened is the car was labeled wrong. Labeled wrong by the let's just say it shouldn't have costed anything for it to come here. But anyways, Chris, Southern Slot, Sean Hurley, thank you, brother. I appreciate it. Don't worry, we'll make it up to you. We'll get something good going on, and we'll make sure that your hard work is definitely noticed. So I thank you. Who else is left? 3Bean, thank you very much, brother. Once again, open invitation to join us anytime you'd like. Clint, thank you, brother. Kenny, Matt, of course, can't forget about Raul. And Danny, thank you, brother. Once again, open invitation. More than welcome to join us. So from everybody here at Slot Valley Racing and
Conquest
Racing Club.
See you later, boys. All right. Bye. Take care.